Is age nothing but a number? When it comes to like workforce and Gen Z and generational things. Now we're also going to talk about what do we do with all the extra time that technology and automation gives us. This is the ZAP YAP with your boy Tim, Mr. Meaningful Work, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the episode that dropped this week on Z Amazing Pod. This week we dropped the episode with Danielle Farage, who is a Gen Z influencer, a LinkedIn top voice, published in Forbes and a bunch of other great publications. We just dropped the episode, and I had some musings, some thinkings, some things that I was just mulling over that I just thought would be good to just capture. And two main things that kind of came up in that particular episode was the talk about age, right? And how a lot of folks use age as a excuse or a defense, right? You're either too old for something or too young for something, right? It's very rare that you have folks that feel like they are just the right age for whatever it is that they're doing. There are some folks that feel a certain level of imposter syndrome because they feel like they're too young. I had a very unique experience in that I was homeschooled for, I think it was like 6th and 7th grade, and then I skipped a bunch of grades, and so I entered college very young. I started college at 15 or 16, which I would not recommend to anybody. A lot of fast growing up, a lot of social cues and things that were missed, at least on my part. But I was the youngest person amongst a bunch of adults that are trying to figure themselves out. And I always had this sense that I was too young for things, so I had to kind of like play it up. But yeah, like that's a real thing, right? Like folks feeling that their age disqualifies them for a lot of opportunities, right? And I don't necessarily think that should be the case where age is a determining factor for a job or for a role or a promotion or whatnot. Now, what comes with age is experience, right? Just time lapsed, and the things that you learn from being on this planet for a long period of time, going through various seasons and learning from those things. I think there's definitely a benefit to that. However, I think in the day and age that we live in right now, a lot of that stuff is accelerated, right? Something that used to take 3, 4, or 5 years to just kind of go through an experience, technology speeds that up. It brings it right to your face, right to your forefront. And the wise will learn from that and use that to build competency pretty quickly. So I no longer feel for certain things that you have to be, for example, in a certain role for 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years before you become eligible for a promotion. But on the flip side as well, right? For folks that feel like they've aged out of opportunities. They're too old to start a business. They're too old to do a podcast. They're too old to engage with a certain generation or in a certain conversation because they feel themselves as obsolete. I personally don't think that that should be the case. You let me know whether you feel that. Are there certain generations that do it more, right? Are boomers more prone, or Generation X more prone to feeling like they are too old for things that are happening in 2024, 2025's day and age? Are Gen Z or Gen Alpha more prone to feel like they're too young as they enter into the workforce? There was a recent article that was published that leaders or organizations are firing or letting go of Gen Z folks at a pretty rapid clip, right? Like within the first 3 to 6 months, under a year of their hiring, because as I say, they're not up to snuff. They're not displaying professionalism, resiliency, or all these different things. Is that an age thing? Is that a generation thing? Are they disadvantaged because they are younger? Mind you, these are folks that had to grow up in the midst of a global pandemic. These are folks that had to grow up with parents that had to survive a recession, right? These are folks that had to endure a lot of things that other generations didn't have to go to. So anyway, those are just my musings. I don't have answers. I'm just thinking about stuff. The other thing I was thinking about was, right, with the emergence of technology and automation being, how do you do things better or faster, leveraging technology or processes and things like that. And so, right, I just ordered DoorDash. How do you so now that I don't have to go to the store to get the food, I can stay here, and just like that, I got my food. So what do we do with all that time that is saved from automation and technology? So you save an extra 5 minutes, you save an extra 10 minutes from a task that would have taken you 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, a week, 2 weeks. And now it's been automated down. Something that would have taken 3 or 4 people, now it only takes one person and a program. So what do we do with all of that? All right. One of the things that Danielle brought up was, and that we discussed was, one of the things that AI and technology cannot do, you can make connections, you can network, you can leverage other people's skills and experiences and add it to your own to have a more robust outlook. Ooh, look at these fries. Yes, Lord. What do we do with all this time? What do we do with all these savings? When I think about savings from a financial standpoint, if you're saving money, it is to help you invest in something that you want to do in the future. They call it girl math. I don't necessarily subscribe or agree with that term, but hey, it was 13% off or 50% off, and so I bought 5 of those things because they were cheaper. But you're still spending the money, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually saving, not spending time, not spending money. So you keep that extra $5, $10, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And what do you do with that cachet of time or money? You can now use that to invest in other things, or use it for emergencies, right? When there's something that happens and you need to have something saved up, you can use that. So from an automation and a technology standpoint, what is the emergency that we're saving for, right? Is it the future of work? Is it AI that's coming in, right? If that is the emergency, do we use this extra time to build up knowledge, right? To build up skills, to build up relationships that will make sure that we are ready for that future state, that future time. So again, I don't know. Folks put the hands up when they say, I'm just saying, that's just me though. That's just me. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Those were the conversations that we had on the pod. Ooh, look at this bowl. Look at this steak bowl. Oh, Dios mío. Yes, Lord. So I'm about to dive into this delicious meal here. As you can see, thank you for tuning into my ZAP YAP, where I'm just musing on the conversation that I had with my guest this week. Tell me what you think, all right? We're going to be releasing these. I'm going to try to release these within the week of the podcast dropping. If there's things that you're thinking about, if there's guests that you think we should be talking to, if there's topics that you think we should be focusing on, please let us know. Tim at MrMeaningfulWork.com is the best way to get in touch with me and leave your feedback. Follow us on all the channels. Z, the letter Z, amazing pod, no spaces. We got new episodes dropping every week. Thank you so much, Danielle Farage, for being our guest for episode 4. But ladies and gentlemen, we out. Peace.